Hello, Alex from Florida here with an update on my ongoing dispute with Warren Lightcraft. So since I had received no answers on my warranty claims and all my other attempts to resolve my dispute with Warren Lightcraft amicably, I had no other option really than to take him to court. So I took him to small claims court in Salem, Massachusetts, which is the jurisdiction that their business falls under. Now I used small claims court. So small claims court unfortunately is limited in the amount of damages you can seek, but the advantages of it is that it's relatively low cost, other than the cost to travel up there and some small court fees, and you don't require an attorney. You can represent yourself, which in my case I did. The reason I took small claims court as well is that I always deemed up front that my chances to collect any money from Warren Lightcraft were really very slim. Warren Lightcraft has really hardly any sales. They don't have any meaningful assets. In fact, I always knew that the building they were in as I embarked on this legal route, the building they were in is owned by a different limited liability company. So while you would think that it's owned by Warren Lightcraft, it is not. And so these guys have hardly really any assets. But I still sued them just because of the principle. Now, over time, I had come to find out that basically all the lying and cheating and deceptive business practices of Ted and Zed are always there. And obviously they did not fail in court either. So in court, Zac Warren was there, the co-founder, the son, with his lawyer. They had appointed a lawyer, and I represented myself. So in court, I represented all my weight evidence, which you can see in the other videos. I won't repeat that. But what was very interesting already to see is that despite Warren Lightcraft in writing saying that my boat is at the correct weight and not disputing any of my weights, now in court they kind of disputed it and said that really they had no way to validate my weights of my boat. So how interesting, of course, it is. Then I presented some proof here of the defective product. The missing parts, basically parts that were never delivered, the wrong parts. I mean, again, you can see that extensively in my videos. Here their response was kind of that I really should have pointed it out prior to accepting the boat or prior to them shipping the boat. So they said, we sent you some pictures, you should have said that. Or why didn't you say that before we created the boat? So how interesting. Now you give 2 years of warranty, yet when you make a warranty claim, they're kind of stonewalling you. Nothing new here, but I mean, how telling. Then moving on, I provided some evidence here on the poor paint job, the insufficient paint coverage. Again, broadly covered in one of my videos. You can hear the sound of the sandpaper-like finish of the boat. What was again very telling is that when the court asked Zac Warren about the sandpaper finish and it being rough to the touch, he said, quote unquote, it was not too bad. Obviously that wasn't the right statement he should have said, and his lawyer quickly had to jump in to say, yeah, but it was within specification. No, so they had to quickly do some damage control there. Then moving on to probably the most interesting part of the proceeding was that the fact that I presented evidence that they painted my boat twice. So again, you can see that in the video, but you can see that they primed it, then they had a color coat, then they primed it again, they color coated it again, and put lacquer. Whereas industry practices, you put a primer on it, a color coat, lacquer, and you're done. Basically, under oath, Zac Warren basically said that is standard procedure on their boats. So it's quite crazy to make that statement. This is on a technical matter, of course, but I think if you do a little bit of research, that makes no sense at all. If they do paint their boats twice, so priming it, then color coating, then starting all over again with a primer and a color coat, if they do that, which he claims they do, that's standard practice, they're complete idiots. In my mind, Zac Warren is just a liar and lied under oath. Then I presented evidence of using fiberglass You know, fiberglass is not advertised. It's supposed to be all carbon. So here I have evidence of them using fiberglass. And then again, another interesting episode was the whole definition of a rigged sailboat. No, so Zac Warren came out with this stupid explanation of horizontal rigging versus vertical rigging, etc., and the fact that it's industry practice for a boat to not include the weight of the sails. And then in addition, he lied about what his sails really weigh. So actually quite ridiculous. So I presented my evidence of what the definition is of a rigged sailboat. You can see that in some of the other videos. I presented evidence that it's not industry practice. That, you know, like here, Mirage, Adventure Island, Tandem Island, Triac. I provided evidence that, you know, a Hobie 16, which is like, you know, they've produced 135,000 Hobie 16 since the 1970s. That weight includes everything, ready to sail. So then his lawyer had to kind of jump in and suggest that Warren Lightcraft sets their own standards, or made a statement to that effect, kind of saying, well, hey, that's Hobie, this is Warren Lightcraft, and so tried to put that issue to rest. Then I provided evidence that they changed their disclosures, so that at the time when they sold me the boat, they basically lied about their weight. And so here I have their original website. You know, it's like section 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. So I'm glad I had copied their website originally at the time of these warranty claims emerging, because I always had a feeling there in their lack of response that Warren Lightcraft wasn't really very ethical in their business dealings, and so I'm glad I did. But now, most importantly, what happened? So I won the case. So I think the court recognized that Warren Lightcraft had been deceptive in their practices, that they didn't honor my warranty claims. And so it's fantastic. I was very happy with the outcome. They really lost the case, despite their lying and cheating and hiring a lawyer, etc. They had until January 1st to pay me. So they were supposed to pay me $1,247. They haven't paid me by that date, even though the court ordered them to do so. So which basically means that he can't pay me. So he doesn't have the money. It's pretty interesting. Probably as a consumer, you ought to know that. That if he can't pay me, then really the guy must be pretty much bankrupt. Or he doesn't want to pay me, which is kind of interesting too. So despite the court ordering him to pay me by January 1st, he doesn't do that. So for you as a customer, I think that should, both scenarios there should concern you. This case for me, again, was not about the money, it was about the principle, and about further, you know, telling my story to potential customers to think twice before doing business with Warren Lightcraft. And here it is. As long as I have this video up, it basically means they haven't paid me. If he pays me, I'll take the video down. No issues about that. So then kind of finally, we've shown this before, or I've shown this before based on what other customers have been telling me. You know, the Warren Lightcraft of after sales support, they first ignore your claim, then they deny it, then they blame the customer again here. Many times during the trial, in court, they try to blame me or suggest I didn't have the experience, or suggest I didn't know. You know, they changed the story. Again, nothing new there. Again, in court, they did that. And then lastly, they keep your money. And again, here, nothing new. They were ordered to pay me money. The court ordered them. They haven't. So again, think twice before doing business with Warren Lightcraft. I'm glad I won the trial. I'm happy with the outcome. They haven't appealed because I guess they see not much reason to do so. So we'll see. We'll continue to pursue them. Thank you.